balance and bring correction to certain areas of the charismatic and all that. I can give many, many examples, but I want to move on. So then we have pioneers of movements. Pioneers of movements. They are also apostles. God can call people to pioneer a move. And usually, these pioneers of movements, those movements they are like waves. Waves. And those waves, they just come to refresh the body, and then they go. Some of them too are killed by the pioneers themselves. They are killed by their insecurity, their immaturity, but they are apostolic. In fact, revivals in church history have always been pioneered by people, and those people were apostles. Like the Welsh revival, Evan Roberts, that young 19-year-old boy that was used to pioneer the Welsh revival, one of the greatest revivals of all time, where a whole community was overshadowed by the presence of God. Football stadiums were abandoned. Why? They were all at church praying. Prison houses were empty. Crime rates dropped. People were getting born again. People were repenting everywhere, and Christianity gained grounds in Wales in 1904, thereabout. It is an apostolic commission that can do that. He may not. He was a young guy, and usually, the wave died because he was deceived by an older woman. The woman said that you are now taking God's glory and you shouldn't be seen and all that. And he abandoned the work and went to live somewhere, and he died through depression. And the work came to an end. People who are apostolic, who are used to pioneer movements, they have the grace of the apostolic. Some of them were not grounded. Some of them were not mature. Some of them, for instance, you see, revivals, they will come to Azusa, Seymour, Parham, and then Seymour and all those guys, Seymour was an apostle because he pioneered a move. Let's come contemporary. You will see prayer platforms, Alpha Hour, and all these prayer platforms that emerge. They are apostolic. But you know something? It is a wave. And waves, what they do is that they come to refresh the church. Unless they settle down to do teaching, those waves will die. It is always the apostolic, prophetic, and teaching that will have to lead in revivals. So you will see the wave is like everybody is going to that place because their problems are getting solved. That is just a tip of the iceberg. That's not why God brought the move. But I say that's a byproduct. The reason why God brought the move is to prepare the church, revive the church, and draw our attention to the major things. But people have a way of helping us to plateau and to enjoy the results and not moving on. One day I had a vision about one move in this city. In the vision, we were standing on a story building, and then he was supposed to hand over some files and other things. And the person was telling me that this move was supposed to be the upper room move, but it has ended. They say, upper room, you shall receive power, who will come upon you, and all that. The mighty rushing wind revival that's supposed to sanitize and treat the atmosphere in this city of Kumasi. Prepare the grounds for a major revival that will come also. So these are apostolic moves, prayer movements, and all that. But what sometimes ends all these things, sometimes there are also human flaws, like the Pensacola revival, which happened from 85 to 95. Man of God called Steve Hill went to preach in a church in Pensacola, Florida, Assemblies of God Church. It was Father's Day. Then he preached. Then they came back in the evening. Then they had nightly meetings for close to 10 years. Then After some time, there was a rift between the pastor of the church and this revivalist who came from outside to spark the revival, of course. So human flaws came in. Then the man left the revival. When he left the revival, within some few months, he was diagnosed with cancer and then he died. Steve died after he left the Pensacola revival. He stopped it. It is dangerous to be used to pioneer and move. These are lessons that we have to learn, because when human flaws come in, like insecurity, for instance, because I'm the pastor of the church, but you came from outside. Now people are coming not because of me, but because of you. Meanwhile, it was a work of God. God was blessing people. Addictions were broken, conversions in the thousands, and many people came to know Pensacola because of the revival. People were traveling from other countries. Let me talk about jurisdictions.